welcome to part 43 of Grand Theft Auto 5, and in this episode, we're going to be paying a visit to Solomon Richards. Now, Solomon Richards was mentioned in the last part, considering that Devin Weston happens to have some sort of stake in the property of Solomon Richards, and that's going to come into play later on in the game. But Solomon Richards is a movie producer, and Michael may have to pay him a visit because, of course, Michael is interested in 90s action movies. He loved that cheesy type of movies because that's the type of guy he is. And, of course, his family calls him out on it every single day. Well, up until Fabienne came into the picture. But whatever the case, folks, we're going to be going over to the movie studio to pay Solomon Richards a visit, and for the record, we'll end up in this mission. Hold on, I think we may have to drive a little bit further. Yeah, we're gonna have to drive a little bit further. Anyway, in this mission, a character from Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony, will actually make a reappearance here in this mission. So, with that said, let's go over to Solomon Richards and introduce ourselves to the well-made businessman who is under Devin Weston's thumb for the time being.
Hello.
Come in.
Thanks.
You must be Michael.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have 3 secretaries. Now I have to make my own coffee and give myself a happy ending. See, the ships are coming in, but the walls will hold us.
Nelson in Naples.
Pluto? I said Mars, you cocksucker.
Shoulder of Orion. 2.
Devin Weston said you were a fan.
Huge fan.
Tell me, Michael, Devin Weston, does he want you to bump me off?
No, not at all. He said you were retiring but might need some help on a movie.
Only assholes retire, Michael. Him and my son, they want to put me out to pasture so they can turn this place into condos or a theme park or something.
But this place is a dream factory.
Well, maybe they have different dreams. Some days, I don't blame them. You know, they always say, never work with children or animals. Well, I want to add to that list. Never work with directors or actors. This picture is gonna kill me.
All right. So what's it about?
It's perfect. Set in Liberty City. Meltdown. It's all being shot on green screen right out back there. We take a look at the financial crisis, and then we boil it all down into a really simplistic battle between 2 yuppies with lots of training montages.
So what's the problem?
Milton McElroy. I cast him in the second lead because he's cheap. 0 talent, incidentally. Well, he's got this new agent, Rocco Pelosi. He's been hassling us about renegotiating the deal. So now, he's holding up shooting until he gets paid.
That sounds problematic.
It would be if the director wanted to shoot. Anton Baudelaire. Ever heard of him? That doesn't surprise me. Now he's having a mental breakdown, pissing all over himself who knows where.
All right. Looks like you got yourself that new assistant. But no happy endings.
I love you already.
Yeah, Rocco is actually a returning character from Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. Although many people were expecting Luis and Gay Tony to be in the game, they kinda are, but in the multiplayer. Rocco is in the story. And for those of you who aren't familiar with The Ballad of Gay Tony, Rocco and his uncle, who is now deceased, Vincenzo, used to work for the Ancelotti mob back in Grand Theft Auto 4. But unfortunately, the Ancelotti mob had to disperse because Don Ancelotti died of a heart attack due to the fact of Nico kidnapping his daughter.
I'm just doing that thing.
Good.
But
Now, I realized in
even
my
worse,
excitement, I forgot some details.
Yeah, it seemed obvious.
Vincenzo and Rocco
You want this
tried
Pelosi
to
guy
murk
killed.
Luis only for Vincenzo to be killed and Rocco to actually survive. He was the only survivor out of the Ancelotti mob because whoever didn't get killed in that onslaught, along with the Russians, they ended up, well, going into hiding, or at least being killed by the bikers. Well, specifically the Lost. Or, in the same vein, also killed by Nico and Packy. But whatever the case,
I'll go in quiet.
we're going to have
See you on the
to
set, boss.
go over to a building where Rocco is located and take the two whiny co-stars of Solomon's movie and bring them back in one piece. This one's kind of hard to 100% complete, not because I screw up, but because the helicopter controls. That helicopter has no fucking handling. Whatever the case, folks, I'm going to be driving along all the way to this building here so we could deal with Rocco and, more importantly, get those stars back. I mean, dealing with a bunch of whiny stars, I'm pretty sure that this is something along the lines of Franklin's work, but... Oh, and also, Luis had to deal with that in Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. Why do I keep saying the Grand Theft Auto 5? I know they're in the game, but still.
Gentlemen, how you like this space? It's gonna be an EDM paradise. There's gonna be sparklers stuck in bottles, implants, tramp stamps, all the real shit. That's Pelosi Entertainment. Now give me a minute here, just a minute. I gotta go grab something inside. Gianni, we nearly got the club. We're finally a go. Now you take care of these guys. No cold feet. Okay? Let's go.
The whole point of this mission is for me to sneak past Rocco's guards or knock them out one by one. Actually, you're supposed to knock them out, but sneaking past is a lot easier because I pretty much wasted a lot of time. Travel time, that is, coming here. So what you're supposed to do, whenever you see a guard, you smack them straight the fuck out. There's like 6 of them here. You gotta knock out all of Rocco's guards. This one right here is the one that's gonna give you the most trouble. But you can actually do this without being seen. There's one on the bottom that I should have knocked out. There's another one that's gonna be coming up the stairs. There's gonna be some that's gonna be coming out of buildings. You just gotta knock out these guys. That's part of the 100% completion. But more importantly, you gotta make sure that you're not seen. Because if one of these guys see you, they will report to Rocco and the mission will fail. See, like those two, you're gonna have to knock both of them out. One at a time. Unfortunately, they're too far away to the point where I can't knock them out like talking about it. And if they're too close together, I may end up alerting Rocco accidentally. So I was trying to do this without knocking out somebody. And then past me completely forgot about this too, so that's another thing. You just climb up the ladder and deal with Rocco. Because if you knock out all of his guards, he won't even know you're coming anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
There you are! Mr. Richards has been worried sick.
Oh, who's this? Who's this jackass? Hey, you!
Oh, turns out these guys are in love with their contract. So they'll be going back to the set with me.
Can you believe this fucking clown? No! This guy's all mine!
Oh, I've been waiting for this since the first mission of Grand Theft Auto 4, The Ballad of Gay Tony. Just simply counterpunch and punch until Rocco is down. Don't worry, you'll kill him later, I promise you. But for the time being, just beat him up until he gets the message.
Alright, spray tan. We're gonna make a new deal. You leave my people alone, and I don't toss you off this roof.
Alright, yeah. Okay? Sure, man, sure.
Alright. Let's get back to the lot.
Now then, once you beat up Rocco, all you need to do is just hop in the helicopter And I think another mission you're supposed to do is barnstorm under at least 5 bridges. This helicopter sucks. Just want to point that out. This helicopter sucks. And the flying controls in Grand Theft Auto is terrible. That's because Michael has no flying skills. Unfortunately, it actually affects how the helicopter handles. So you're supposed to fly under 5 bridges to spook everybody that is in of this helicopter. You don't want to, yeah, it's supposed to be 5 successful barnstorming. And if you barnstorm 5 times, they'll automatically be, spooked to the point where they'll have no choice but to comply with Solomon. Otherwise, just keep trying to, cake knife, I think that's what that term is. Like, barnstorm and cake knife under stuff, and you'll be just fine with spooking them out. Hell, you could even accidentally try to wreck into them, which will spook them out even more. But what you were supposed to do was to helicopter under 5 bridges, which will scare them into, or at least not try to wreck into the helicopter, at least. You helicopter under 5 bridges, which would scare them into actually complying with your demands. Unfortunately, I only managed to barnstorm only under 2 bridges, so that does not count. Eventually, they will, comply, and when they do, that's when they're going to... Oh, I did not mean to do that. Yeah, see? Right there. They'll comply, and you'll just have to fly them. And the last thing you gotta do is land perfectly. Let me just tell you, the helicopter controls are terrible if you do not have flying skills. Even then, it's still terrible because the updraft. Because when you're trying to control the helicopter will be forced to go up. So, on that note, the updraft is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, you just gotta be careful not to crash the helicopter, because if you do, you're gonna have to go through the whole trouble of... No, actually, no, your checkpoint is this point, actually. I almost steered you wrong there. Your checkpoint is this point. You'll have to go to, the studio with the guys in the back of the helicopter, but at least you won't have to try to scare them again, because the checkpoint is leading them back. No, the only checkpoint would be actually... There's like 2 checkpoints. This and the other one where you have to start all over from the stealth section if you happen to be caught. Other than that, this isn't a bad mission. It's a doable mission, but you can actually screw up 100% because Past Me really wasn't thinking when he played this. He forgot everything. Everything, which is why I said this wasn't going to be a 100% playthrough. But yes, later on you can kill Rocco, but it's going to... But in this mission, Rocco had to be alive in order for the sign off on the actors. And there's a reason why Rocco is... Oh, I did not mean to do that. I wanted to try to go over to the swimming pool area. But as I was saying, there's a reason why Rocco did not want these guys over in Solomon's studio, because of the fact that he's a hired hand for Devin Weston, who is purposely sabotaging Solomon Richards so that Solomon will never see his videos, so that he could just use
you see him right now, and we go flying again.
I do believe
you even look like you fail a piss test at any point on this shoot.
Eminent domain, yes, that's what I'm trying to say. He can use eminent domain to make Solomon sell the studio so he can put a mall here. That's his whole plan.
What a wonderful surprise. Anton, my boy, you're an artist, I know that. And this story is the best kind of art. A simplistic, cliche-ridden pile of dross that you will turn into magic. Get a grip. I love ya.
So, Solomon, Milton here has a little something he wants to say to you. Say it.
I just want to say that I'm sorry for any misunderstanding, sir. And I appreciate all the opportunities that you've given me.
Of course, of course. Michael, what can I say? You're a natural. I love you.
You're too kind.
No, I mean it. I don't mean to presume. But would it be okay if I gave you a shout? This shoot seems cursed for some reason or another. I need an associate producer.
I'd love that.
We'll talk soon. I gotta go.
Oh, hell yeah. Whew. Ah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I did screw up a little bit, but hey, at least the mission's passed. Although, again, it won't be the last we'll see of Rocco. Whatever the case, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys in part 44 when we deal with Mrs. Thornhill and Nigel once again. Because this time, they've got their eye on an unsuspecting star. And it's one of the more screwed up missions in the entirety of the game. See you guys next time.